Hello and welcome to Default Assault, where we take on everything by default. I am your host, Demosthenes, and with us, as always, is our awesome co-host, Mr. Kyle Nash. How's it going, Kyle?
Good times, man. I'm ready to go tonight to see what hilarity we bring by default, and yeah, it's good to hear about something other than kneeling during flags and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that's something. That's well, in general, I tend to think of life as hilarious by default. So everything's funny, everything's tragic, everything. Charlie Chaplin once said something, and it's something I tend words I kind of live by, especially when it comes to filmmaking. Life is comedic. I'm butchering this, but life is comedic from far away, but it's tragic when it's up close. Uh, and it's very true in filmmaking and in everyday life.
No, there's something to that. I'm more aware of the other quote that he has that's pretty famous. It's higgitus figitus, mother.
Yes, and he was lucky because at the time he could say that over and over and over again, and they were sound films, so they can they can, you can be saying it going higgitus figitus, motherfucker, over and over and over, and the little card comes up saying, "I love you." Kittens are wonderful. But anyway, today we will be doing our one of the shows that we very much enjoy doing, a recurring show called Who It Could Have Been, where I surprise Kyle with an actor or an actress that was almost cast in a famous movie but didn't quite get it. Would it have been better? Would it have been worse? Would franchises have continued? Who knows? Tonight we actually have a little bit of a theme as we talk about two famous characters, and the theme is none other than Tim Allen.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
Tim Allen, as many of you have known from you've either watched him Home Improvement, the Santa Claus, the Toy Story films, as Buzz Lightyear, of course, one of my personal favorites, Galaxy Quest, possibly
Yeah.
the greatest Star Trek film that's not a Star Trek film.
Well, I don't mean to spoil it, but was with his conservative background and all the trouble that got him in for a bit there, was he cast as one of the Klingons in Discovery? Because that would have been a little too on the nose.
Well, I will give you this: he would make a great Klingon. Have you heard the man grunt?
Oh, dude, I want to hear him talk about a bat lift now, my man. Anyways,
I will have to edit that in. Worf and Tim Allen had a conversation. Duke talk, row ho ho. It'll be
so funny.
so I mean, we can go on and on about Tim Allen's famous roles, but I want to start with one of his most famous, his real motion picture breakthrough role in the Santa Claus. Now you have to remember, as much as people may like or dislike Tim Allen, he accomplished something quite extraordinary in 1994. In the same week, he had the number one television show in America, the number one movie in America, and the number one book in America. I mean,
Close to a Naked Man was number one. I didn't know that.
yeah, when it debuted, it was number one, and his second book also did pretty well. But that was late. I think it was '96 when he wrote that. It was "Are We Really Here," which was interesting because apparently he has a fascination with quantum physics and the reality of the world around us. It's an interesting book that you wouldn't quite expect from the grunting ape man that a lot of his detractors associate him with. But regardless of politics and regardless of books, his first breakthrough role in Scott Calvin in Santa Claus um, showed a lot of potential. I mean, he really kicked it out of the park in that film.
Great movie at the time. Before it was trendy to ironically mention Die Hard as a Christmas movie for a short time, the Santa Claus, I felt really good about that and was willing to put in my top echelon of Christmas films.
We should hang on to that as a potential future episode. Um, I I don't even want to talk about the sequels; they don't exist in my mind. The moment I saw the big fat plastic toy ass of his in Santa Claus 2, I was kind of done with that concept. Yeah, but anyway, so the role.
He's done with a plastic toy ass. That really brings credibility to the show. Thanks, Demos.
I I aim for these high standards. It's a difficult process, but I do my very
You
best.
don't have standards that high. See what I did there?
So the role of Scout Calvin was originally intended and offered to this other famous actor, who unfortunately, for him at least, he had to decline due to scheduling conflicts. That actor is none other than Christmas Vacation star Chevy Chase.
Wow.
Back into the show. He missed out on American Beauty. Now he's back to miss out on the Santa Claus.
Let me tell you why Tim Allen is the better choice, and it's not close. We've explained the cynicism that exists. Cynicism is too strong. More of the realistic, like it's lighthearted, but there's also a darkness and a reality in Chevy Chase, in the Griswold Adventures, in Fletch, all that would not fit in the Santa Claus. Now, granted, it's not to say that Tim Allen doesn't have an element of practical in his comedy. He's everyman relatable, not darkness relatable. Like Chevy Chase would be. Tim Allen, the Santa Claus, especially with that being a Disney movie of that era, pre buying into Marvel and them having characters that are far more dark as the Black Widow and beyond, in their roster all of a sudden, thanks to acquiring Marvel. The image was still quite a bit squeakier clean with that. The guy had to be lighthearted, and Tim Allen is just a far superior fit in that. Chevy Chase, I just don't think you have a good movie with him in that role in this instance. This isn't like a Tom Selleck where you could have done it, and if you need an excuse to put in me sing-songing the Magnum PI theme again, here you go. Yep. But no, I don't think it's close. This is probably one of the more lopsided saviors in this case that Tim Allen was, no question. I'd have to go through the list again in my head, which I'm kind of doing, so I'm stalling at the same time to do that. But this was pretty lopsided, and it may be it might be the single best. Whew, that was close. I can think of. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I disagree to a degree. I think that Chevy Chase, I could see him doing that role. But here's the reason why Tim Allen is a better fit. Tim Allen is perfect for the role because if you look at his comedy, if you look at his style, he does portray himself as kind of this crass, down and dirty guy's guy.
Mm-hmm.
And the film introduces him as such a character. And to see that persona transform into the purity of the Santa Claus character is far more effective than I think that Chase would have pulled it off. Not to say that, like you said before, Chase can go into that darker element, but I've seen Chevy Chase in children's films before, from Man of the House to you can argue that Christmas Vacation could be watched with the family.
It can.
Despite its PG-13.
Mm-hmm.
He would I could see him playing kind of like a goofy, like kind of Clark Griswold, kind of like a surprise by everything that's going on in that kind of exaggerated manner. You're not gonna see Fletch Chevy Chase in the Santa Claus.
At least you better
not. That would be entertaining. Only if he kept the persona despite the Santa Claus get up. I think that Tim Allen was absolutely perfect for this role. But I like I said, I can see Chevy. I think Chevy Chase had a lot of range that a lot of people don't quite give him credit for. And like I said, it for me, in my mind, it's not that big of a leap to see him playing it and actually doing a decent job with it. But like I said before, Tim Allen, who else could pull off ho 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 better than him. I mean, come on.
Well, and look, I still stand by my statement that I still think this is pretty damn lopsided. It might be the most lopsided in favor of who it was versus who it could have been. But I see what you're pointing out. What you're thinking is that Chevy Chase would go into this role playing Clark, the wholesome Clark W. Griswold, who actually delivers on his intention of the perfect vacation in any of the films. You're hoping, if you're putting in Cornelius, aka Chevy Chase, in this role, yes, that's his actual first name. You're wanting him to play Clark Griswold if he's actually 100% successful in the Mission Impossible.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good call by you. I don't know. Neither of us know what that would actually look like. But that would be the target. I see where you're going.
Well, Tim Allen himself has said that Chevy Chase was an inspiration to him, and it's not a surprise when you go down the list of roles that Allen accepted, especially early on, were roles that were rejected by Chase, which actually kind of brings us to our next one. Although I'm not going to go the Chevy Chase route, I'm going to go the route of Buzz Lightyear. Now, Buzz Lightyear, I mean, I consider Buzz to be my favorite Pixar character. Is he the strongest character in the entire Pixar entertainment department? Yeah, probably. I don't know if he would be the strongest, but he's by far my favorite. I love Buzz Lightyear. When I was a kid and I first saw Toy Story, funny enough, Tim Allen was probably one of the bigger reasons I saw Toy Story in the first place, because I grew up with Home Improvement. There was a nostalgic element to that, and seeing him star in a Disney animated movie at that point in my life, I was ecstatic. But the role was originally offered, and to this day, this particular actor considers it his biggest regret for turning it down. So much that he actually accepted the next Pixar offer to play Mike in Monsters Incorporated. That actor is Billy Crystal.
Oh man. Let me tell you why Tim Allen's still a better fit. That's, oh my gosh. I don't say oh man, because first of all, Billy Crystal's amazing. Can we just get that out of the way? Okay? This guy, he's unbelievable. He's amazing. Okay?
So you like him, you're telling me?
He looks marvelous. Okay? But the point is, only grandparents are going to get that reference, but that's okay.
I don't even have kids yet. What the hell are you talking?
Hey man, that's the day and age. Step your game up, dude. Anyways, no. Man, look, he's fantastic. And look, the cast in Toy Story in general is amazing. Don Rickles is Mr. Potato Head. Oh my god.
The late Don Rickles. Oh man.
Yeah, no, that's sad. I really would have liked to have gotten to see him in person at some point.
Wallace Shawn, Tom Hanks, Annie Potts. I mean, the list goes on.
Bro, I'm trying to
Penn Jillette is
Penn
in freaking Toy Story. He's the voice of the Buzz Lightyear commercial.
Tim Allen put Tim Taylor into a spaceman, okay? A delusional guy who might be heroic at times, but is too much of a screw up or is too delusional to know that he's not the hero that he sees himself as. Billy Crystal, and especially focusing on his voice, there is nothing heroic about that. Whoever actually thought to offer this to Billy Crystal in the first place got it all wrong. I don't know anything. Look, Billy Crystal is capable of a lot. Dashing, that's a big negative, Ghost Rider. That pattern is so full.
See, Billy Crystal is very self-aware and kind of a wise ass in his comedy. I cannot see him playing a character that's, but what Buzz Lightyear himself said in the second film, as deluded as how he was in that first film.
Correct.
Where in Tim Allen's kind of like macho, like heroic, I am Buzz Lightyear kind of presentation.
How would Billy Crystal deliver to infinity and beyond? It would be terrible.
Billy Crystal, I think, would have been. I mean, I love Tom Hanks, so Tom Hanks is the best fit, but he would have made a good Woody.
Yes.
City Slickers alone. I mean,
but he would have put up a fight for it. I don't know that you replace Tom Hanks there either, but he would have done a worthwhile job. I'm completely with you on that. That is, at the very least, that's a better fit for Crystal than Buzz by far. I think I still feel like Chevy Chase in the Santa Claus is more lopsided, but this one's pretty damn bad too.
Well, funny that you should bring up Chevy Chase because, as I mentioned before, Chevy Chase was also offered Buzz Lightyear before Tim
Stop
Allen.
it.
Yeah, Chevy Chase was also offered the role of Buzz Lightyear, and he turned it down. I don't remember the reason why he turned it down. Chevy Chase wasn't really at the time. He's done some since, but he wasn't really at the time known for voice work. Um, Chevy Chase is a physical actor for my a lot of the jokes. One of his specialties. I mean, he's almost up there with John Ritter as far as physical comedy.
Just look at his SNL clips. You'll see what he's talking about, folks.
Exactly, and that's a lot of his draw. I mean, he has a distinct voice. He has kind of like that smart ass quality to him. Like I said before with Fletch, and I think that he would suffer from the same issues that Crystal would suffer. He would, if he went for the smart ass, he would sound self-aware. If he went for the faux heroicism, I don't quite buy him in that.
In order to deliver a good actor for a role like this, who's supposed to be dashing, whether he knows it or not, or whether he knows that he isn't dashing or not, I should say, you have to be able to deliver the to infinity and beyond line, and neither Chase nor Crystal could do that with the same gusto that Alan did. No question.
Agreed. If you do want to get an idea of what Billy Crystal would have sounded like as Buzz Lightyear, there is online. You can find it on YouTube. Just search up Billy Crystal / Buzz Lightyear. But there was an early Pixar demo of animation of Buzz using old sound clips of Billy Crystal in the voice, and it's fascinating to see. But it doesn't work.
But you got to know that someday, believe it or not, you'll go 15 rounds over who's going to get this coffee table. This stupid wagon wheel Roy Rogers garage sale coffee table.
Although by Crystal's own admission, Alan was the better fit for it. I assume that after he saw Alan's success with Buzz Lightyear, when Pixar offered him another opportunity, he said, "I'll have what he's having." So,
dude, Mike Wazowski is a perfect fit for Billy Crystal there. No question.
By far. So were you blown away by tonight's Who It Could Have Been, Kyle?
Blown away by the absolute and sheer ignorance that these were the original choices. And these are people that are getting paid six figures for this. Look, I know we have the hindsight of knowing the actors that worked. But you said to me, Billy Crystal, all I could think of is some moron thought that was a good plan.
Despite how much we both enjoy Billy Crystal, we're not.
Yeah, that's not about his talent. It's about the fit, or rather, I should say, lack thereof.
By default. Well, if you guys have any Who It Could Have Been suggestions, let us know in the comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, and follow me on hilaritybydefault.com, where we post weekly movie reviews and other fun stuff. Follow me on Twitter at DefaultHilarity and Facebook Hilarity by Default. Kyle, where can we find you?
Of course, you can find me on Twitter at the SOTG, and of course, you can see me on Facebook as the student of the game. Yeah.
Awesome. And remember, life is hilarious by default.